Hello again. So I had somebody ask me if I had a tutorial for a multi-site Drupal 10 installation, which I do not, and I decided to try and wing one. So I went to Google and I searched for DDEV multi-site, and lo and behold, the first article is by Asta on dev.to. I will link to it in the description, but it looks promising to me. She did a great job of distilling it down to some very simple steps. Um, this may take a minute. I'm going to fumble through it, so feel free to fumble along. You may need to watch my install Drupal 10 in 5 minutes video to get to our current status, which is my Drupal 10 site I created from the CMS Quick Starts at DDEV, and it is running right here. My Drupal 10 site. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Steps. 1. Make a new folder for your project and in your folder run. We can skip that since we are in our working folder. Create .ddev config multisite.yaml. I'll just give you another preview of the DDEV directory. It is nice and filled up from the default settings or setup. So we will go ahead and create a DDEV config file. Site file. We will take her verbatim post, copy and paste. This file contains list of URLs for our subsites, which is equivalent to setting up a vhost for each site. So what she is saying there is subsite 1 will be subsite1.ddev.site, so on and so forth. We need to create the subsite directories in the sites directory of Drupal. So let's just go ahead and go into the directory she's talking about, and I'll show you a listing so we're not skipping anything. We're in the web directory, which contains the sites directory, which contains a number of files. The default directory is, of course, for the default site. If we have a look at default, it's quite a bit. Click that to less. As you can see, files directory contains your standard cache, CSS, JavaScript, the default services settings, and our settings.ddev and our settings.php. All standard, nothing too exciting. Let's get back to it. Now, make dir. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Why type it? She is so helpful to provide it. It would be rude not to. Copy example.sites to sites.php. Let's just have a look at example.sites to see what we're working with. So this is the configuration file for multi-site support and directory aliasing feature. It's empty by default, but it contains, all the instructions and how it works. So I suggest you have a read through it yourself. It's pretty simple. I guess everything is simple though, if you think about it, but it's really not. We wouldn't need these videos and tutorials. All right, so we have a sites array where we've included the host name for each of our 3 subsites. I'm not going to read it to you because it's quite clear and it's already in the article. Now, 5, DDEV creates settings.php in default directory, which we looked at earlier. Not used to this keyboard. All right. let's just have a quick look at the settings file as well. This is the standard file, as you may or may not be familiar with. DDEV adds this bit right here to include the settings.ddev file, so it's separate from your main one, and you can ignore it, and nobody will be the wiser that you are relying on such an awesome wrapper to make you look like a rock star at work. All right, back to the show. We looked at the file. Now let us copy it. That was right. We need it in our subsite. So since we are using single DB with prefixes, add entry for DB prefix in each of your subsite settings.php after the line to import settings.ddev.php, like this. All right, we'll just take a step back and address the DB with prefixes. What that means is, if we look at our database, I just did a DDEV status, which shows you all the containers running in your project. It's so nice and helpful. I love it. Okay, this is phpMyAdmin. We can control click it. Advanced, accept the risk and continue. And DDEV creates a DB named DB. So here is the Drupal database tables. And what she is saying is the subsites will use the same database, but it will have prefixes before each table name. So they are separate, but in the same database. Much simpler than creating and managing multiple databases. Whether or not that's a good thing, I guess that probably depends on your project. We won't get into it. Back to her instructions. Now we need to copy that settings.php still. cp default settings.php subsite 1, subsite 2, subsite 3, tree subsite star, and it's in each directory. Automatically generated for settings managed by DDEV. That's the lines we looked at earlier. All right, so we need to copy and paste this. Bear with me, I just want to make sure we're doing what we need to do properly. By default, DDEV uses dir settings.ddev since it assumes settings.ddev.php is in the same directory. But since that is not the case with our subsites folders, we are using app-root sites default settings.ddev.php instead. What exactly does that mean? Since we are using single DB with prefixes, add entry for DB prefix in each of your subsets. Yep, like this. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that, but maybe it's because I'm speaking at the same time and trying to do it all at once. It's not easy. We are looking for this, and we will add subsite 1. We will go to subsite 2 settings. Scroll page down to, I'm just going to search. There we go. Copy paste, but we need to change that to subsite 2. Shift ZZ is a quick way to save and exit out of Vim. Subsite 3 settings. How you search in Vim is just you press the slash, DDEV, enter. There we go. O is to insert a line below your cursor. Control Shift V is how you paste. I apologize if this is mundane to you, but there are a lot of people out there who may be wondering how I am using these keyboard shortcuts and whatnot. I think that takes care of it. We'll run DDEV restart. So it creates URLs for our subsites. I'm getting excited. I hope we don't error out. I have not tried this yet. Go to the respective URL on browser and install the site. We have a little list of our sites here. Look at that. Beautiful. Control click, and we get an error. That's okay. We'll deal with it. First, we have to figure out what the error is. Maybe we should continue reading her post. She says not to use Drush or it will drop and recreate the database for each site. Oh, she does have instructions for a multiple database like we just talked about earlier. Notes about Docker. Okay, so we're going to have to dig through some log files to figure out what is going on. DDEV has a logs feature. If you just run DDEV by itself, you get to see all the options. So we want to, I already forgot what we were doing. We are logging, DDEV logs. Now, quick note, if you add a -F, it will continue to tail the logs. So when you run or refresh, you'll get a nice fresh error, so you don't have to dig through this, big mess of characters. So we get, notice, PHP message, Drupal something something driver not specified for this database connection. Oh, I didn't copy the DDEV or change the path. She mentioned it. She said something about it. So I think I just skipped a step. How does she suggest we copy it or just change the path? Oh, she did provide the line. I should have copied and pasted the entire thing. My bad. Let's do that again. E2 down arrow, Shift O to insert above, Control Shift V, and I'll trust that it's right. I can also subsite 3 settings, and if you do a Control Shift, I can't remember. You can definitely do window next. No, BN. Yes, BN. Buffer next. Buffer previous. Okay, so let's get to it. Subsite 2 will get rid of that. I quit, so let's just edit this one like this. As you can see, I am not perfect. Nobody is. And perhaps we're good. We can tail the log files again. Make some room. Give it a shot. And there you go. You have the beginnings of a multi-site. That is subsite 1. So if we copy paste, change that to 2, it's there. Change this to 3, and it's there. And there you have it. Thank you very much, Asta. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but I will definitely link to this tutorial in the description, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching.